right. How you doing, man? You doing good?
Good, Big O. How are you?
Good. You know, I was talking about this before you came on, and you were with us from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
I was supremely pissed, and I think most of the Heat Nation was at the 1-4 start, at the lack of effort, at the lack of giving a shit about the season, and we said, "Oh no, not again." And
Right.
so if the same 5 games was going on last night, in other words, if the same shit was going on and you're 11-8, you're 7-5, 7-12 or whatever, some crap like that. Then I'm saying, okay, well, I'm going to watch the football game. I'll watch the Panthers a little bit more. I'll put the Heat game on the side because they don't give a shit about the season. All I did yesterday, I couldn't effing wait for this game because I've watched Indiana, and they're actually good. They're a pain in the ass.
Yeah, they're
and
fun.
I knew that they would be a pain in the ass when Miami opened up the game. I favored 2.5. I was like, you know what? I'm not even touching it because that's how much respect I had for Indiana, and that's how much I've changed my attitude with the Heat. You know what I mean? And none of you have reported anything, but I gotta think something happened after Game 5. That Jimmy took that day off in Game 3 or whatever, and they're 1-4 or something. Because what happened after 1-4 and what we've watched since, it's like a different attitude, a different team. I don't know what happened. I don't know if there was a come to Jesus. I know those people keep everything from you guys. I understand that they're like, breaking that code is almost impossible. But that's how it changed for me. You know what I mean? Like normally, number doesn't mean shit in basketball, dude. It just means nothing. And I was glued to my seat watching that. And obviously, we'll get to Jaquez and everything. But I just want to commend the team for the kind of effort last night. And then Bam goes out, and holy shit, dude. That was great, man. That was just fantastic last night. That was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're playing much better than they did the first week of the season. But again, not to diminish what they're doing, because what they're doing is impressive, and they are a very good team. But the schedule did get softer after that full 5-game stretch. They started out on a tough schedule. I mean, they played the Minnesota, Boston, and Milwaukee on the road. It's
how they played.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying the schedule has been softer.
Put it this way.
Yeah.
I don't get mad too much about the Dolphins losing to the Kansas City game and losing the Philly game. I'm fucking furious at the game in Buffalo.
The Buffalo game, yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And that's the difference in all of that. I'm super consistent on that. It's how you played to start the year. You did not play the way you're playing now.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's not a matter of Jaquez getting better and getting in a group. I get that.
It's everybody. It's the whole team. Yeah.
But it's the whole dude, Jay Rich looked like he was an old man in the first 5 games.
Well, remember he had the foot injury. He had the foot injury. He came back. You could tell he wasn't 100%, and he's getting back into form, and he's played very, very well. Yeah, very well. Yeah.
He looks like why we got excited that they brought him back.
On a minimum contract to add to the bench. I mean, that bench, that's what I'm writing about today, is turning in to be a big strength for this team. I think a lot of people, when Eric Spoelstra said this team is deeper than last season, not you and I think you and I both kind of saw it, but a lot of people were like, what? Really? You think that they're deeper than last year after losing Gabe and Max? But you could tell. I mean, it's clear that they are. This is one of the deeper Heat teams in recent memory. I mean, they didn't have Bam and Jimmy off the bench to start the fourth quarter last night, and they begin that fourth quarter. Well, no Bam, no Jimmy, no Tyler on the court to start the fourth quarter.
Right.
Bench unit begins, down 3. They enter the Heat enter the fourth quarter trailing by 3 points. They turn it into a 3-point lead by the time Jimmy comes back in with 7 minutes left, and then the rest is history, obviously. So that's a big difference from last year, where they couldn't survive those minutes without Bam or Jimmy on the court. They were terrible in those minutes. They haven't been great in those minutes this year, but they've been able to survive them. And that is a huge difference, especially when you're playing so many close games.
Yeah. And I was just talking about this before you came on. Obviously, Jaquez put on a freaking show. I mean, his IQ is through the roof, dude. He knows how to use his body. He knows how to play without the ball. He puts himself in he's always moving, dude. He just understands the damn game. It is just, and he's fearless of any of the moments. And to me, what's also developing here is I'm watching the guy that's really going to take over for Jimmy when Jimmy needs rest or if Jimmy's injured. That's going to be the guy you're going to run offense through.
Yeah.
That's the guy that really, I know Caleb was kind of working his way to be that guy, but it's kind of interesting that Tyler Herro's been injured. That's opened up the door for Jaquez to show you what he's all about, and maybe he's a better starter than Tyler. And then he's also doing this with Caleb now on the court. He might be proving to be the better option to be kind of the, Jimmy replacement. Okay. I'm not saying he's Jimmy. I'm just saying that you can run the offense through him.
He runs similar things. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, because he's so good at facilitating and seeing everything and then scoring too on top of all of that. Your thoughts on Jaquez and where he's at and what it could develop to?
It's crazy. I think everyone's doesn't want to make the comparison of obviously to Jimmy because Jimmy's a top 10, top 5 player in the NBA, top 5 player in the NBA in the playoffs. But he looks like Jimmy on offense. The way he plays, 3-level scorer. He doesn't depend on 3-point shot. You can run offense to him in the post. He's good off the ball, like you said. And Jimmy's a really good cutter for a star. Like there aren't many guys who are better off the ball than Jimmy. And that's why I kind of like Jaquez playing off the bench because when Jimmy comes out of the game, you don't really have to change the offense too much if Jaquez is in the court. You can run similar things.
True.
And they don't. And a lot of times when Jimmy's in there, Jaquez is more of a spot up guy off the ball, which is fine. He's good at that role too. That's what makes him so impressive. He can do both. But when Jimmy's off the court, he has the ball in his hands more. You can run offense to him in the post more. So I kind of like staggering. Doesn't turn the ball over. Yeah.
Doesn't turn it over for a rookie, bro.
Yeah. No,
that's huge.
He always makes the right play. I think that's been and over again. If the shot is there, he can drive past guys. He could post you up. He can hit a spot up 3. If you bring an extra defender at him, he'll make the right pass. He finishes in transition. It's every night. It's like he shows you something different. And to me, to the first month of the season, to the first 5 or 6 weeks of the season, that has been the biggest story by far of this team. The fact that they got one of the top 4 rookies probably in the draft at this point, at the 18th pick. And he, it's a huge upgrade. That's a guy that we complain about they didn't make a big addition for agency, right, this summer or a trade. I mean, with the way he's playing, he's a guy that would have signed probably in free agency for like close to $20 million a year. So it's the equivalent of a major free agent signing, what Jaime is giving you right now.
Well, what's the other guy doing? The kid that was a little bit of a head case that fell in the draft.
With Houston? Yeah, I don't think he's doing much. Yeah, you got to always trust the Heat with what he's drafting.
You got it like I did. I got the DMs and the post. The Heat screwed up. What's the kid's name? I'm from
Whitmore, I believe. Yeah,
Cam
from
Whitmore,
Villanova.
right?
Yeah, Cam Whitmore. Yeah.
It's Heat screwed up. They should have gotten Cam Whitmore. I don't hear any of those people come back quick. And it's what I always say on the show all the time. Nobody tracks whatever the hell some of you say. So you guys can go say all the crazy shit because nobody's going to ever try. Now, whatever he writes, whatever I say, you guys are going to come back right away to correct us and tell us we were wrong on something or whatever. But nobody cares. Nobody writes down what you guys say. Nobody remembers what you guys say. So that's why all you idiots that said the Heat should have drafted Cam Whitmore instead and they made a mistake, where are you? Are you manning up now? No, you're not. You're hiding like a coward because that's how it goes. You know what I mean? It's amazing to me. But what Jaquez, I mean, dude, he put on a show yesterday. That dunk, that alley, the whole play.
That was one of the highlights of the season so far, that play. Yeah, that sequence. Yeah, it was, I mean, you got to give the Heat credit, just their scouting department credit, draft evaluators. The last 3 of the last 4 picks have been home runs. You take Bam Adebayo with the 14th pick. He's one of the best two-way players in the league. You take Tyler Herro with the 13th pick. He's one of the better young scorers in the league. And then Jaime Jaquez at 18 last year. It's just they've really hit home runs on 3 of the last 4 picks. The only other one is Precious, who, he didn't live up to the expectations, but he was good in the 1 year with the Heat, and then he ended up. You got Lowry, you put him in a trade, and you got a guy which you can think what you want about Lowry, but he was a valuable piece in that trade.
But Precious has turned into a good player.
Yeah, he's right. I'm just saying he's on the level right now of Tyler and Bam. He's not right. He's a good role player. Yeah,
right. It's a different kind of player that you need on your. He's a guy you need on your roster, but not. It's different than Bam and Tyler. You are correct. It's not
but also Maxey was on the board then too, so they probably should.
I've seen Sasha Danilovic. I know what a terrible pick is.
Yeah, it wasn't that. You're right. Yeah.
Well, what was the one that was Shabazz Napier? I know what a terrible pick is. I can't call. Precious was a decent pick, man.
Yeah,
and I could argue, give me Precious here, and he's better.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. Maybe Cam Whitmore is with the Heat, and he's
I have the best coaching staff in the NBA right here in my backyard, so I know Precious has done a solid job there. He'll be even better here. I know
maybe Cam Whitmore would be Rookie of the Year right now if he was with the Heat. Who knows? At this point, we can't rule anything out with this coaching staff's track record.
Right, because you find Caleb, you find Duncan Robinson. You know what I mean? And these are undrafted players that you're finding. So some of your undrafted players are better than most people's draft picks. Okay, that's just stupid right there. Okay, that makes no sense whatsoever. What they have done is just absolutely awesome. And yesterday, Jay Rich looked good. Duncan continues to have a monster season. Jaquez put on a show. How about Butler, dude, coming back from that ankle injury? He left it all on the court in late November.
20 free throws. Yeah, 20 free throw attempts. Not a good Pacers defense, but still, to come back after that ankle injury. We've seen Jimmy play when he's not 100%, and you could tell when he's not 100%.
Right.
The fact that he took 20 free throws and scored 24 points in the second half against a hard, like you said, a tough team to play against because you're running up and down the entire night. That is exhausting. And a lot of guys played well, but Jimmy led the way for that win, especially in the second half. He kind of set the tone there in the third quarter with you just throwing it to him in the post relentlessly, and that slowed the game down and got the Heat. Obviously some easy points at the free throw line, some easy points around the basket. Jimmy was that guy last night, especially with Bam out and obviously Tyler out as well.
Yeah, that Halliburton kid's kind of good, huh?
Oh, he's very good. Yeah. I think he should be. I don't know where Indiana's going to finish. I think they're 9-8 right now, but with the way he's playing and his importance to that team, he should be an MVP candidate. He does a lot for that offense.
It's funny because what I was thinking of also is Spo's comments when you think about that game when he goes, well, you guys think we're trying to slow things. We're actually trying to, speed things up. And boy, you needed that shit last night.
Yeah.
If you were going to hang with that team, you had to have a fast break type offense. And by the way, that's another good thing. Even without Bam, you could go out there and score 142 points. I know you're not playing against the best defense, but it's not like there's a ton of great defenses in the NBA anyway, as it is. But I love the fact that you have the firepower to score 142 points now. That, a few years back, there were some Heat teams that were
last season.
Yeah, that's true. Last season was hurting for scoring. You know what I'm saying? So kind of like that, bro.
And credit to Kevin Love. He only scored 5 points, I think. But just the rebounds in the fourth quarter, the outlet passes, finding Jimmy for easy baskets, that was important.
Does Kevin Love know the Patriots need a quarterback?
He's pretty good. He's a good passer. He might be. I might tell him. Maybe.
I don't think Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi can make those throws. Oh, I'm just saying. He's throwing a round ball. If you give him a football with laces, are you kidding me? He's going to hit the butthole of a hummingbird 50 yards away with that aim.
the touch on those passes to get it to Jimmy over a defender or two defenders, put it right on target for the easy lay, a couple easy layups in the fourth quarter. He made it.
Jaquez tried, but he threw it like Mac.
He threw it too. He threw it too far. Yeah,
right. He threw it like Mac Jones. It just
the thing is, Kevin Love.
He Ryan Tannehilled it. Since we're in Miami, he Ryan Tannehilled it and just threw it right over the entire court. It was like, just a little too much there, kid. You know?
Yeah, Kevin Love makes it look easy. It's not that easy.
No. I was sitting there going, wow, I'm actually watching basketball in late November, and I'm like, I don't give a shit about the football.
About football, yeah, it's a good thing.
It's them, and I commend them for that. I really do. I commend them for that. All right, what do you got going on in the Herald?
Yeah, today I'll be posting. We just spoke about a story on the Heat's bench. The bench has evolved, right? Because the rotation has changed because of the starting line, all the injuries, all the different starting lineups. So there have been different bench rotations. But when that four-man group of Jaime, Caleb, Jay Rich, and Kevin are together, I mean, they have one of the better benches in the league, I think you could say. There's not much drop-off when the starters come out, and that's a big deal for this team. And then there's another conversation for another day. We don't have to get into it right now, but when Tyler eventually comes back,
bench.
Let's say you do, but either way, let's say you do slide Duncan Robinson to the bench. All of a sudden, they're probably going to extend it to a 10-man rotation, and you have Duncan Robinson playing off the bench. It's just the depth of this roster is really, really impressive, and it is one of the bigger strengths of the team this season.
And to add a caveat to all of that, I think Spo needs to adjust himself a little bit because I know he likes to have tighter rotations, especially into the playoffs.
Yeah,
but keep it more wider now because you are deeper and you can keep guys fresher, bro.
Yep.
I think as the season goes on, what I told you before, I think there are going to be moments where you're going to be able to rest Jimmy because Jaquez is so good. You're going to be able to run shit through him and on lesser teams, and you're going to be able to run some of these lesser teams off the court, and Jimmy will be able to get a little extra rest, and what you could use is the youngin' to kind of run the offense. And I think as Caleb gets healthier, we'll see the same Caleb we used to see, and then all of a sudden Jaquez and Caleb can really feed off each other and run that offense while Jimmy rests a little bit so you can try to keep him fresh. But I think having that expanded roster throughout the regular season, I think is an enormous plus for this Miami team.
Yeah, and as we've seen, Big O, like there's always an injury, unfortunately, for this team. And that has allowed them to survive a lot of these injury issues early on. I mean, you're missing Tyler Herro for most of the first month of the season, who's one of your better players. Bam Adebayo now has missed 3 games plus this half a game, 3.5 games. Jimmy's missed a handful of games. And they've been able to survive it because of the team's depth. They're just – last year that wasn't the case. When Jimmy or Bam missed games, it was really tough for this team to win and score points. And that just hasn't been an issue so far this year.
Do you have to now protect Bam from Bam? Do you have to now a prolonged rest where, hey, dude, we need you to really just get healthy instead of you trying to fight through this injury and carrying it? Maybe it's time to give him a little bit of extra rest here and protect him from him.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see on the injury report today, but my thought is at this point, after like the in and out the last few weeks because of the same injury, they only have 3 games like in the next 10 days. Because after Saturday they play Monday. They play Wednesday. So they have 3 days off between that, and then they play Friday, and then they'll play again until the following week. So they have 3 games the next 10 days. It'll be the perfect time to give Bam those 9 or 10 days off. He only misses 3 games, and then bring him back where maybe he doesn't need to re-aggravate it and miss more time. Just get it right instead of the in and out. Getting it hit because it's gonna get hit. I mean, we've seen it. It's that contusion, you can pat it all you want, but you're playing basketball. He's playing inside. It's physical. He's going to get hit on the hip, and it's going to happen again. So I would think
– know it, bro. And opponents know it. So
exactly.
They're going to run into him on picks and shit like that for, just say, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. You hit me on that side, huh? Yeah.
Right.
Come on, bro. I mean, so get him some rest.
This is the time. It's the perfect time of the schedule to do it. It kind of comes at the right time. So we'll see what they decide to do. Bam doesn't like missing games, but like Eric Spoelstra said last night, he had to tell Bam, like, I'm not putting you back in. I'm taking this out of your hands. You're not playing in the second half. And I think now with all the days off, maybe it's a good time to do that and get Bam right.
All right, follow him on Twitter at Anthony_Chiang and catch his exceptional work there at the Miami Herald. Anthony, as always, excellent conversation. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, can you ask Anthony who's going to fill the 14th spot on the roster?
Well, they have 14 guys right now, but just Drew Smith is hurt. So obviously 15th. Yeah. I mean, do they need a 15th guy at this point? They have so many good. But yes.
Deeper, Anthony. Deeper.
We'll see.
Okay?
I mean, they have options, right? Yeah. They have the, they.
Is Whitmore available? Did they release him? No? Okay.
No. Well, I mean, they need guard depth, right? Because Drew Smith was guard depth, and they don't have that right now. Kyle gets hurt. Yeah.
I told you they were deeper. They're going to be better. They're going to score more. All that. My only problem is ball handling. And that's where the Drew Smith injury was catastrophic. They need another ball handler.
Yeah. And there's guys in the G League like Jamari Bouye who they could sign to a non-guaranteed deal just to add depth. Or there's some veterans out there.
Dude, that we can get later on. Is there somebody out there that we don't know about? We haven't talked about. Is there a former NBA player playing in Europe?
I mean,
that could be an option. The
names that are like that always are thrown around, right? When talking about free agent guard options still available, or Goran, obviously, Kendrick Nunn, John Wall, who we know is always in Miami, George Hill. But it's like, him.
Well, he could teach us how to Dougie. That's what I want Wall here. He could teach us how to Dougie.
I mean, I'm sure he would love to play for the Heat. I just think that the Heat right now don't feel the need to do it. I think if there's another injury, they probably will do something. But now with Tyler Herro probably coming back within the next week or so, you're going to add another ball handler to the mix. It's just they have so many. They're so deep that, yes, they only have 14 guys and one of them is out for the season, but it doesn't feel that way. It feels like they have so many different options that they could play. So it's a good problem to have.
Do you remember when John Wall was introduced?
Yes, when he would do the Dougie. Yeah. How could I forget that?
I'll never forget that.
How could I forget that?
I thought it was a super cool open for him. I thought it was a great way to come out, and he did a great Dougie and everything. I go, that's cool. That's cool.
Not many people loved it though, but I agree with you. I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't have a problem with it.
I loved it, bro. That's who he was. He's a showman type of player. So yeah, I get all of that. It's cool. It's unfortunate that he had all the injuries, and that's really what ended up derailing his career, but there's no doubt he could play.
Oh yeah, he's talented, super talented.
Yeah, bro. John Wall could play, but unfortunately, when you have bad luck, you can't do anything about that. Anthony, as always, thank you, my brother. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the basketball. We will catch up next week.
Thanks, Big O. Have a good weekend.
You got it, my friend. Thank you, sir. There you go. Anthony Chiang from the Miami Herald. And when we talk about Baptist Health, folks, you don't need to be a professional athlete to go where the pros go. The doctors at Baptist Health Orthopedic Care can see you now. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho to request an appointment and get yourself back in the game. And if you have an injury that's keeping you from doing what you love, take charge of your health and get back into the game with the help of the all-pro staff at Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Use that QR code right there. All right. And if you're listening, then just go to baptisthealth.net/ortho.